Hey dolls, welcome back to my channel. Today I figured I'd film a different type of video for you guys. As you guys already know from the title, it's about to get real. Real fucking crazy because this is a true fucking story. And I don't know, it's been on my mind recently because I've been watching storytime videos by Bri. I'll go ahead and leave her in the description box below. But she just is like making me rethink about the crazy shit that has been happening in my life throughout the past couple years. So I figured, you know what, let's go ahead and make a story time and have you guys get to know me a little bit more. I think I'm gonna make a couple of these story time videos just because I think they're fucking entertaining. I think they're fun to do, and life's crazy. Life is just crazy. So let's go ahead and get started. Just a little background before we get into it. I'm the type of person that is very understanding of people, very nice to people. I don't know, I feel like I have a very big heart and I try to see the good in everybody, even if they've done some fucked up shit to me. I don't know what it is, but just for my own sanity, I try to let things go and keep on moving forward. But this story, for some reason, even as crazy as it is, I still look at myself like, was it me? Like, you know what I mean? Like, was it all just in my head? So let's go ahead and start from the very beginning. So this all took place towards the end of my freshman year of college, I want to say. I'm like scared to even talk about this. I don't even know, it just creeps me out. So, alright, so I'm outside like in the courtyard area, and at this point in time in my life, my car had taken a shit on me, so I was always waiting on rides. So I'm waiting for my boyfriend to pick me up, you know, I'm outside of class, and you know, it takes a while for him to get there. So I put my earphones in while I'm sitting outside, you know, as a universal, like, don't approach me, don't talk to me, leave me alone, don't even try to have a conversation with me. You know what I mean? Like, you put your earphones on about, like, leave me the fuck alone, don't even, So I have my earphones in, I'm like, I think I was watching YouTube, honestly. Either that or I was listening to fucking music, I don't know. So I'm sitting there underneath a tree and the sun is setting. I remember this perfectly. And I'm just like, it's getting kind of colder out and I'm like, oh god, hurry up, because I want to get out of here. It was probably a shitty day at school, to be dead honest, because a lot of my college experience was miserable. Tell me why this person, let's call him fuck dude, I don't even know of a fake name right now.
One eternity later.
Let's call him DeAndre. So, DeAndre, this kid DeAndre, at this point in time, I don't know who he is, okay? I've never seen this kid in my life. He has glasses and just looks, I don't want to be like a rude person. Let's just say he looks kind of like the social outcast. So whatever comes to mind in your head, just think of that, okay? Somebody that's not that popular, doesn't have that many friends, you know what I mean? So I'm sitting there with my headphones in, just waiting for my ride, minding my own motherfucking business, and this person doesn't even give a fuck that I have earphones in and I'm like doing my own thing and I'm waiting. You know what I mean? Usually you get the sign that's like, leave me alone. He comes up to me and I'm like, fuck, you know what I mean? I take one earphone out and he was like,
Hi, what's your name?
And I'm like, Alyssa, because I'm just like, oh god, I don't want to talk to people. At this point in my life, I was like the most anti-fucking social ever. Like, I would not go to the grocery store by myself. I would not leave my house. Like, I don't know what was wrong with me in that point in time, but anyway, long story short, so he's like, what's your name? And I'm like, Alyssa, and he was like, oh, can I use your phone to call my mom? He had a phone in his hand, so I'm like, sure. Like, I don't even know why I said sure, because I'm like, that was just really stupid of me, but I'm, like I said, I'm a nice person, so I'm like, whatever, okay, yeah, sure. So he calls his mom. Who fucking knows if it was a real phone call or not? I don't even remember looking at the call history, but he basically asked her, like, hey, when are you gonna get me? Are you almost here? Blah, blah, blah. Yeah, so after he uses my phone, he hands me my phone back, and, you know, says thank you, the whole spiel. Then he starts asking questions about me and, like, how long I've been going to the school and what I'm going there for and, like, stuff like that. And I'm just giving him short answers because I'm like, okay, all right, like, leave me alone now, thanks, you're welcome, whatever. And then obviously I could feel he was, like, asking those questions so he can, like, get to know me more, flirt with me or whatever. And right on cue, as soon as I'm like, I get what this dude's doing, he's like,
you are just so beautiful. You know that? The way this sun is just touching your skin, oh my god, it looks so beautiful.
and I'm just like, thanks, like, I have a boyfriend, but I really appreciate that, thank you, like, that's really nice. And at this point, he was like, can I have your number? And I'm like, why would you ask for my number? Because you don't have a phone. So I was probably an asshole, but I was like, well, but you don't have a phone, so there's not really a point for me to give you my number. Because, I mean, think about it. He just asked to borrow my phone, y'all. So he's like,
oh no, I'll call you on my mom's phone.
and I'm like, what the fucking what? You know what I mean? So I'm like, oh no, it's good. I don't give out my number like that. If I see you around, I see you around. Like, you know, and then right on cue is when my boyfriend pulls up and I'm like, bye, you know, like, hit. So after that whole situation, I saw the kid around, like, occasionally, but I would, like, go the other way, or, because he would just had that look in his eyes of, like, hi, oh my god, pretty girl, or something, I don't know. So then it was a couple months later when my whole fucking life changed. Like, I'm not even exaggerating on this. So I walk in, it was the first day of this new quarter, and I'm walking into class on my very first fucking class of the quarter, and I'm, like, scanning the room, you know, you look around, who's in my class, do I know any motherfucking people up in here, you know, and I saw that person. I saw, what do we call him? I don't even remember the fake name I just made up for this person.
I suffer from short-term memory loss.
DeAndre? I don't fucking know what I just called this kid. Okay, so anyway, we'll just call him D. We're gonna call this guy D because I can't remember the fake name I just fucking said 3 seconds ago. So, so I'm walking around and I see D and I'm like, oh, fuck. Like, and I sit on the way opposite side of the room, you know what I mean? And he doesn't really say anything to me, he waves, and I'm just like, hi, you know, whatever. And this was the type of class where we had to work in groups a lot, so keep that in mind when I fucking tell you the rest of the story. The very first day we had to find groups, and I was able to avoid being in his group, thank God. My group ended up having to go to a computer lab, and then his group goes in that same lab. And this is the point where I could realize that this kid was different, because he starts blasting Tech 9 in the computer lab while it's supposed to be, you know, a quiet workspace, work on your group shit, get your shit done. Anyway, he's blasting Tech 9 in the computer lab, and I kid you not, every person in that computer lab just goes like this. What the fuck is he doing? What the fuck? What the fuck is that kid doing? What's wrong with him? What the fuck? Because while he's blasting Tech 9, he starts freestyle fucking rap battling to the fucking track. Like he is hot shit. So then he's like this. Imagine some headphones in. He's like,
rap.
I don't fucking know a freestyle. So, and he has headphones in while he's doing this and being so fucking loud. Good God. And while he's doing that, he glances over at me, like, you know what I mean, like, and then fucking is still rapping and shit, and looking at me like he's trying to impress me with this fucking freestyle bullshit ass rap, dude. I'm like, oh hell no. No, honey, no, please do not do that. So, the next week rolls by, and somehow or another throughout the quarter, the fucking teacher does random freaking, what is it called? Random drawing of the fucking teams that you're supposed to be in for the next upcoming project. And I got stuck with him. With him and like 2 other people. The teacher's like, you guys are gonna have to exchange email and phone numbers because there's no excuse why you guys can't have communication together, and if one of you is missing, the other people in the group better know where they are, and this and that, and this and that, and this and that. So the teacher hands us a packet where everybody has to write their freaking contact information, do this and that, and my heart drops because I'm like, I don't want to give out my information. I could give out my fucking email, but it's like, okay, you need my phone number too? Why? So I was just taking the benefit of the doubt because the other people in the group were cool. I'm not gonna just give my number to like 2 other people, and then this guy, he's like, why can't I have your number? So I write my number on the thing. And at this point, I forgot that I had even written my number on that damn thing. So on that paper. So you know, the next couple weeks go by. We're still working on our project. To be dead honest, I don't even remember what that fucking project was about because it was that pointless. But it took some fucking time because it was multiple weeks that we had to work on it. Fast forward to a couple weeks after, you know, we start our group project. Just throughout the next couple weeks, he just did weird little stuff that I was just like, and other people would even have a weird feeling too, like, why are you acting like that? You know what I mean? So, we get to take a break from class, and we get to go like down to the cafe, get some food if we want. You know, people that smoke, they can go smoke cigarettes or whatever the fuck. So anyway, we have a majority of the class waiting by the 3 elevators to go down to the first floor. Now, everybody's crowded around waiting to take these fucking elevators, and I'm waiting there and I'm minding my own motherfucking business because at this point I just avoid this kid at every cost I can, besides of course having to be in his fucking group for these projects. So the guy comes, he makes eye contact with me through this fucking crowd. He comes over to me and he's like, hey Alyssa, how are you? You know, how have you been? And I'm just like, good, I'm fine. He's like, what are you doing this weekend? And I'm like, I'm gonna go out with my boyfriend, you know what I mean? Like, I just tell him what I'm doing, and I probably fucking made something up because I was like, oh, I'm not hanging out with your ass. So, he's like, well, I was thinking, you know, me and you could go to the movies and, you know, go out, go on a date or something. It's fine, I'll pay for it, it's all on me. And at this motherfucking point in time, I was like so discombobulated because I was like, did this motherfucker really just ask me on a date when I just said I'm going out with my boyfriend and I'm doing this or whatever the fuck I said? I was shook. I was so fucking shook that he fucking said that right after I just told him. So that's not once, that's fucking twice, probably 3 fucking times that I said something about I have a boyfriend, okay? So as he asked me, like, oh, well, we can go on a date this weekend, we can go to the movies, but I literally, keep in mind, there's all these fucking people around. I'm like, oh my god, I'm like, fuck, I'm really triggered right now. I was like, are you fucking kidding me? I remember saying it loud enough that people turned that were biased. They were like, oh shit, what's popping off? And he's like, what? And he like goes like that, like, what? Oh shit, what did I do? And I'm like, I just fucking told you I have a boyfriend and you have the nerve to ask me on a fucking date. Are you kidding me? What type of person do you think I am? And I'm like this right in his face, like, and he's like, oh no, I didn't mean it like that. Oh, I'm sorry. I mean, yeah, I mean, he doesn't have to know. And that fucking triggered me even more because I was like, he doesn't have to know. Are you fucking stupid? Like, I remember that pissing me off to the fucking core, dude. I was like, oh, hell no. And then to validate everything that he had the nerve to say, he was like, well, you know, we can just make it a group thing instead. I was like, this motherfucker is just plain old fucking stupid. Like, I don't even know. But I just didn't know what else to say to get it through his head that I was not interested in his ass. Like, at the least bit. Like, I would be more interested in shoveling motherfucking elephant shit on a day off than going out with him, ever finding him attractive, ever even entertaining the motherfucking idea, dude. So fast forward through the quarter and it's just a bunch of fucking, it's a shit show basically because I have to deal with this kid every time I go to class and I'd be really fucking annoyed. And he would start like texting me and like taking full advantage of the fact that he got my phone number from the project. Where I was just like, stop texting me, and I finally blocked his number from my phone. At this point in time, I think I had a freaking Samsung Galaxy something, so it was not like, I don't even remember how to do it on that type of phone. I don't know, but I figured out how to block his number, and called it a fucking day. Especially when that quarter ended, I didn't hear from him for a while. I think we had like a week or 2 off before we had to like go back to school. And so I go back to school, this and that, and I have class with some of my friends that I had met, and I was like, you guys have no idea how that last quarter went and stuff like that. And I was like, have you met this guy D? And they're like, oh my god, yes. And I'm like, well, let me tell you what he said. And then I told him the story about how he was talking about let's go on a date and your boyfriend doesn't have to know and all that stuff. And they're like, girl, he did the same motherfucking shit to me. I straight up told him I had a freaking boyfriend and he literally said, well, he doesn't have to know. I'm like, bitch, you said the same thing to me. So at this point, I'm like, this dude for real don't give no fucks at all. No fucks at all about anything, basically. So at this point, when my one friend validated it for me that something was off, I, start socializing a little bit, and I start telling this story to a couple other people. And then, instead of telling the entire story, I just start asking people if they know who the guy is. I'm like, do you know D? Do you know D? And at this point, about 6 or 7 other girls are like, oh my god, yeah, he's so fucking creepy. He won't leave me alone. I told him I have a boyfriend. He said he doesn't care. So I'm like, this fucking dude is desperate and as fuck, doesn't give no fucks about, like, any type of person's relationship, if you think about it. Like, so I'm just like, wow, this fucking dude has got some balls. Like, something's really fucking wrong with him, I guess. I think, honestly, he thought he was hot shit. Yeah, so the quarter goes on. I don't see him at all because I had no other classes with him, and the way the schedule worked, it was like you probably won't see a lot of people if you don't have any classes with them. So fast forward, I start getting a request on Snapchat, and I didn't know who it was. At this point, I had a lot of randoms on my Snapchat. So I add the person, and it turns out to be him. And he starts replying to stories and shit, and like saying, oh, you look so beautiful, blah, 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 oh, let's go out, let's go out. I'm like, oh, hell no. As soon as I saw it was him, dude, I'm like, you gotta be fucking kidding me. Like, if a random guy hits on me, it never gets to the point of being that creepy. It's just like, okay, I'll let you know, like, I'm in a relationship, like, I'm good. And they'll be like, oh, my bad, you know, no offense, like, shit like that, because they don't want no fucking drama. But this guy was like, he didn't give a shit about anything. So I blocked him off Snapchat, and then it gets to a point where, remember that email address? I don't know why the fuck he would save it, but he started emailing me, and I'm like, oh, hell no, like, leave me alone. And so the next quarter's going by, you know, and I'm walking to my car. Keep in mind, the parking lot isn't that far from like the actual building, but still there's not a lot of people that are in that parking lot. So I'm walking to my car, I'm like telling my boyfriend, hey, I'm gonna be on my way, I'm leaving early, and I had earphones in too, and all of a sudden I could hear that somebody was calling my name, and I'm like, the fuck, like yelling my name, yelling it, because I could hear it over my fucking music. I look around because I'm like, oh fuck, who is that? Like, I don't know who that is. I don't really talk to a lot of guys, so there's only a couple male voices that I fucking recognize. And I look around, it's him, and I'm like, oh hell no. In my fucking head, I'm just like, I look at him, I don't wave, I don't smile, all I do was look, make dead eye contact, realize it's him, and turn my head. Like, I didn't even lose a step. I kept walking, and I'm like this, oh fuck, and kept fucking walking to my car. And at this point, I'm like, hurry the fuck up, bitch. Get to your fucking car, because we don't need no fucking weird-ass social interaction, like nothing. No fucking conversation, like get the fuck out. And so I'm scrambling to find my keys as I'm walking in my big-ass like bag carried with my equipment and all this other shit. I find my keys, and another reason why I was rushing to my fucking car is so he didn't know what car I drove. Like, I felt like I definitely had enough time to drive off, like at the very least to just get the fuck out of there. And so I finally make it to my car, and when I tell you, I damn near had a fucking heart attack. I make it to my car, I open my car door, I grab my bag, I go to slide it off of my arm, and it was like a motherfucking ghost was behind me. He was right here. He must have fucking ran, dude. He must have ran from where I was when he yelled my name and I heard it to me speed fucking walking to my car, bitch. He fucking Usain bolted on that shit, because seriously, he was right. When I say right behind me, I swear to God, chest to back, basically, like literally. And I screamed because it scared the fuck out of me, and my anxiety was already hella high when I saw that he was fucking calling my name, and I'm like, no, I'm done with this fucking weird shit, you know what I mean? So I'm like, what the fuck is your problem? Like, what do you need? He's like, oh, I just wanted to come give you a hug and blah, blah, blah. Bitch, no! Get the fucking hit. If you call a girl's name and she's like this, leave that bitch alone. She don't want nothing to fucking do with you. She ain't even entertaining you. Like, literally, there was no point in time where I sent a single mixed signal. And I could see how if this story, I could see, like, how if this situation occurred, there could have been a possibility for a mixed signal, but there fucking wasn't. I'm gonna tell you right now, there was not a single mixed signal I sent besides that very first time I met him when I was like, sure, you can use my phone. That's it. So I'm feeling really creeped out just talking about it. So he's behind me, I scream, I'm like, what the fuck's your problem? You know what I mean? And I'm just like in defensive mode. Like, my heart is pounding and my voice is shaking. I'm like, what do you want? Oh, I just want to give you a hug. Who the fuck? What? You just want to give me a hug, bitch? No, like, so I'm like, you know what? I'm good. Like, you need to just leave me alone. I don't appreciate it. Like, and I just go on this whole spiel. And I finished grabbing my bag off my arm. I put it in the car. And he is still standing there. The driver's side door is open. I'm trying to get in my fucking car and he won't move so I can close the door. He's just going on this whole like, oh, but I really miss having class with you, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, I gotta go. Get the fuck out of my area. Please go. Please go. So I finally close my fucking door, lock my door. And tell me what kind of mental person still stands there. I've put my fucking car in reverse, so he's right in between my car and the other car that's parked next to me, standing there. What do you think if somebody, I don't even know. So, wouldn't you leave? Wouldn't you back out? Like, wouldn't you, if you were that person standing right there, even say in the grocery store, you move the fuck out the way. So anyway, so I back my car out and I fucking go. I'm just like, and my hands are shaking, my heart is fucking pounding, and I'm probably exaggerating, but the whole vibe was just off with this dude. And the fact that he bolted to my car, stood right behind my ass, and just wouldn't get the fuck out the way, wouldn't leave me alone, bitch, something's off. Something's motherfucking off. And so I call my boyfriend, and this is what adds to the story of me being like so upset about it, is because he was like, oh, that's so cute, Alyssa, he followed you to your car, oh my god, he's obsessed with you, he loves you, oh my god. And I'm like, oh hell no, you think this is funny? Like, this is not funny. And that makes me question just the, I don't know, just the whether or not I'm overreacting on this situation. If you think I'm overreacting with how I responded, comment down below. Or if you had any kind of situation similar to this, comment down below, because I don't think I was overreacting at all. I do not think I was overacting one bit, but I'm just like, oh hell no, I don't need somebody obsessed with me, it's not funny. And just to hear, you know, somebody laughing on the other end of the line, I'm like, okay, maybe I just need to chill, you know what I mean? Long story short, after how many minutes, I'm sorry y'all, but I was like, I do not want to go back to that fucking school without some type of protection. And he was like, what do you mean? I'm like, I'm not talking about a gun, y'all, because that would be overreacting. I'm like, I'm talking about some type of pepper spray or a taser, you know what I mean? Something where I would feel safer, because that's the first time in my life a situation like that has happened to me where I felt like my safety possibly could have been in danger, just because I watch a lot of Lifetime movies and I'm like, shit gets real quick. So I went ahead and went to the store and got my very first taser. And you know, after that situation, it's kind of creepy, but I never saw that guy again. I never saw him, and knock on some wood, I've never seen him again in my life after that situation, and I'm glad. I am so glad. I don't care how he's doing. I don't care where he is. I don't care at all about his life because I'm glad I don't have to deal with it anymore. And for any of y'all girls that have to deal with some psychotic ass shit like that, probably even worse than what I had to deal with, I'm so fucking sorry that that type of shit happens. Or any of you guys that have to deal with something like that, because girls is crazy too. Don't get me fucking wrong. Girls is crazy too. And I know a couple guys that had to deal with some crazy stalker fucking girls as well. But y'all, I don't even know how to end this video because that's literally just the end of the story. Like, I never saw him again. But whew, I'm very glad. I'm very glad. All I know is sometimes with certain people you can't be that nice. If that's the one thing I can learn from this, is you can't be that nice to everybody. If something feels a little off, then it might be off. So take the hint from your instinct, like I did, and call shit out when you see it. Cause if you keep entertaining it, it's gonna get worse. It's gonna get worse. But in this case, I didn't keep entertaining it, and it still got worse. So, but that's it for this video, y'all. If you liked it, then don't forget to leave me a thumbs up. If you're new here, subscribe to my channel. I'm coming out with more story time videos for y'all because I feel like my life is crazy and I feel like I can definitely entertain you with some story time videos. But yeah, that's it for this video, guys. I'll see you in the next one.